Hello, and
Welcome back!
welcome back. Tuners and Gooners. Tuners and Gooners. You know?
All I'm imagining is like those little tuning devices and like the goons of like.
We're gonna break into the safe, boys. Don't worry. This is why I don't like doing openings. I'm really bad at them, I feel.
It's kind of funny though. Like it brings such delightful joy.
I'm glad someone likes it. I'm glad it's endearing.
Yes.
But it's Toonkind at 12 FPS.
Toonkind and 12 FPS. It's another exclusive audio and Sotoro FPS.
Yup, we're getting them in.
We're getting them in.
We've got so many.
We got so many.
So, for context, this is set after The Sweetest Taste, but before Blood in the Water. Because I know those games are coming out around the same time. Or something like that.
Yeah.
They happened around the same time. So, but hopefully whenever everything ends up in the playlist, I can put them in the correct order.
Yes. So you have no context of what is to come.
You should be afraid. You should be very, very afraid. Blood in the Water is a great two-parter game, though.
It's a great two-parter.
It's a great time, honestly.
Definitely listen to that one once you're finished listening to this one.
Absolutely. Or if you've already listened to that one, hey.
Hi. Come on in. The water's nice and warm.
Like, I don't know how we got here. I don't know how you got here, but we're here.
We're here now.
So, this FPS does require a little bit of Bon lore if you don't know it. If you don't know it, I'm going to go ahead and explain it. Basically, I ran a two-parter game a while back that...
Years.
Don't stop.
Okay.
Don't age me like that. And it had to do with Bon faking the death of their former boss, who then had left them, Bon, to inherit all of their crap and problems. And that's sort of something that's been in the background of Bon's stuff, is they've just kind of started picking up this kind of thing. One of the things they got from that game is a mansion on an island, a very small island, off the coast of Einquell, on the Toontown side.
It's just a ferry back in and out.
Yeah, it's like if there were islands off California kind of shit.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many islands.
I don't think so
It's
either.
more off of like Oregon, I'll be real.
My brain is giving
islands.
me because I lived in Texas, in the Mexico Gulf, there's a lot of tiny little islands.
Yeah.
Remember? We went to
Yeah.
a tiny island whenever we went there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something like that. And so in The Sweetest Taste, stuff happened and Bon picked up
A couple of guys.
a fair amount of guys. They were offering guy hangout left and right. And one of the quote-unquote new friends that Bon picked up is a very infamous Dr. Kankal, who Sotoro-Ma will be playing today.
Hello. Little old me.
Yeah. I'm sitting here leaning in really close to the mic. I'm realizing it's kind of I'm just like a radio host feeling.
Yeah, think of it that way.
I am going to try and not be so close because you're a little farther away and I don't want to.
Here. There. Equilibrium.
Equilibrium, hopefully.
I have no idea how this sounds like in recording, so hopefully it sounds good.
We're both sitting together on our bed, so if you hear any weird creaking or you're like, what do you mean you're sharing a mic? That's why. We live together.
Yes.
Here's the IRL lore that you get for today's episode. Heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji. Now on what is it? Much Ado with Nothing. Much Ado of Nothing? Whatever.
I don't know.
It's a Shakespeare play.
Without further ado?
No. But that is what I want to say. Without further ado, I shall paint us an opening scene.
I love audio's opening scenes.
So, a little side context as well to continue to explain how these two have been left alone is at some point there's going to be an FPS where Sandy is with other people. Because Sandy's got other people to talk to and other things to do. Her and Bon are as tight as ever. They're fucking BFFs for life, baby.
For life.
Honestly, the healthiest relationship.
You should listen to
We did
Happy Family.
Yeah, we did an FPS.
You should listen to Happy Family FPS.
Yeah, that one predates this one. So, but she is not here right now. And Yuvia, who normally is Dr. Kankal's assistant, Shadow, has been given the day off by Bon because Yuvia needs to go do normal young adult things and actually live her life.
She's a teenager.
I know. That's why I'm like, I say young adult because I'm like, I know she's like a kid. She's a teenager, but she's a kid. And my fucking God, Yuvia sobs. I love her. She's so tragic. But Yuvia is not here. Sandy is not here. It is Kankal and Bon for the most part. I figure if anyone else ended up coming back, hitching a ride on the fucking boat with them back to Greater Einquell, to Toontown, they're probably chilling in their own parts of the mansion or in Toontown or wherever.
Considering we picked up quite a few of people.
Yeah. Like, I know if Ups the Pret came, Ups the Pret's on fucking bed rest.
Yeah.
Because they got blown up. They got blown up. And cross-country travel is not good for you.
No.
Even if you're a toon.
Yeah.
Or a toon adjacent. If you got blown up. If you're not well. All of these people who aren't well.
It's a big mansion.
It's a big mansion.
Big house.
I feel like it's kind of gotten bigger.
But via Toon logic.
Via Toon logic. And Bon has accepted this. You know, what else can they do except accept this?
You know, it's not like you can force a house that wants to grow
exactly
to not grow.
There's new windows. There's years of dust being sloughed off. You know, there's actually people here living here, like breathing new life into this place. You know, it's good for it.
Yeah.
But to set the scene, we flicker through a series of old-timey, grainy, like the shutter click kind of opening sequence of black and white photos, grainy medical portfolios, too fast for one to really necessarily make out, most of which in various languages like Oran or Primordial or in unknown language that has yet to be named or deciphered. A few pictures feature Bon, a few pictures feature Kankal, a few pictures feature people that haven't been mentioned in a long time or at all. But as we flicker through these, eventually there's a final click, and the camera goes from old and grainy to newer and colorful, flooding in with the slightly overcast and raininess, but with a promise of flowers and spring and warm weather tickling the horizon as this house is brought into view and the camera zooms in on the door. You know, an unseen hand rings the bell and the door opens up invisibly by an unseen hand, and the camera goes in, weaving around rooms and upstairs until it goes down a hallway, and outside of a bedroom door is Bon Arlo. And they have with them a fairly impressive medical briefcase kit kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's not small at all. It's probably got like a clipboard strapped to the side, you know, with pens, and it is an older, probably like leather, very well taken care of, but old seeming case. And they're kind of standing in front of this door, thinking, contemplating life. Because if I had to make a gander, this is probably like, you know, they've sent off Yuvia after she helped Kankal get to her room. And so it's like okay, do I wait or do I bother them immediately? Kind of contemplation. And they're just standing outside the door. And they weren't exactly subtle, considering their claws or their talons click on the floor and their feathers rustle in the slightly uncomfortably slim halls for them.
If you want to come in, you can. Comes the door from... Comes out the voice.
Yep. Oh, I see. Will you throw things at me if I do?
The only things I have in hand are blankets.
I don't know. You could have a mean pitcher's arm, and I wouldn't know.
How about it's up to you to find out?
Exciting. Bon opens the door.
Kankal is just laying there, like... Kankal has been, like, fidgeting with, his necklace, and it's just, like, looking at the window kind of vibe, you know? And he just, like looks back and is like, boo.
I'm terrified. Bon walks over to the nightstand and like pulls it away from the wall and like pulls out a drawer halfway, and it like has a little stand that they click into place that pops out from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of to, like, extend it.
That's cool.
Yeah, you know. And they put the medical briefcase on the nightstand.
Mm-hmm.
And open it up. And start pulling stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is the medications that they had requisitioned from Kankal's lab. All of them have the strange language on it. And they, like, set the clipboard aside, you know. There's, like, all kinds of, like, little paper cups, a couple of, like, rags, some bandages. It's a bunch of shit. It's just a bunch of shit. And Bon basically starts filling up the drawer, like, neatly and precisely with all of this stuff. Not really saying anything, kind of, like, humming under their breath a little. Or, like, deep in, like, the back of their throat.
Kankal both is paying attention, but, like, kind of in a way of I am totally not paying attention. I am looking at the window, totally looking out the window kind of way, you know? Very just nonchalant, fidgeting with the necklace.
Bon is going to casually reach over and grab Kankal's free hand and start taking his pulse.
Kankal tries to like the very hesitant, wanting to like pull away, but accepting.
Yeah, Bon just waits. Bon just waits them out. And then they like pull a pen out from their vest because I feel like they're wearing like a little vest. It's probably a new one. You know, their usual shorter pants. Honestly, probably not much of a shirt.
Valid.
You know?
It's bird.
It's warm. It's gonna be warm out. They're a bird. You know, they're busy. It's laundry day. But they take out a pen from, like, the breast pocket of the shirt and, like, scribble down the numbers. And let's go of Kankal's
Immediately
wrist.
take the hand back.
Bon just starts scribbling on the clipboard.
So what are your observations?
Bon flicks their gaze up from the clipboard and, like, gives Kankal a once-over and then looks back at the clipboard and continues scribbling. And they're, like, tall, lanky, malnourished. I think I've seen dead people who look better.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I can totally find this plugin, guys, without... There we go.
Hey, there you go.
If birds could raise an eyebrow unimpressively, Bon would be raising an eyebrow unimpressedly as they look back up from the clipboard at Kankal, just like, I don't know, what do you want me to say?
More of what you're writing.
Bon turns the clipboard around, and underneath height says tall. Underneath weight says lanky, malnourished. Shit like eye color is like, I don't think eye color's been filled out yet, but hair color I think has yellow, brown, looks like shit.
I say you're a professional. Like, it is laced with, like, sarcasm.
I'm very professional.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely.
Mm-hmm. So what do you plan to do with me?
Right now or in general?
How about both?
Right now is probably get you started on an IV. In general, I don't know. Maybe get you to get a few more pounds on you so you look less decrepit. Maybe get you a hobby. Another hobby. I don't know.
You went to all the trouble into getting me here alive. Now you're saying that you don't know what to do with me.
I mean, I know generally keep you alive. You know?
What's the use on that?
Because you're useful to me.
How am I useful to you?
You know things I don't.
Doesn't everyone?
Exactly. And wouldn't you agree that it would be wise for me to utilize all of those resources you have in that thick skull of yours?
So you want me for information?
Sure.
Fine. He just stays sitting there quiet.
Bon goes to a nearby, it looks almost like a broom closet.
Mm-hmm.
And they pull it open, and there's actually like IV stands in there. And there might be other things, but Kankal doesn't really see before Bon pulls out an IV stand, rather tall one, and shuts the door back. And they slowly glide it over to the bedside.
Whose room was this?
Bon looks around. Mm-hmm.
You keep saying a lot of no.
That's how it works with experts, isn't it? Only a fool is confident in their answers. They pull out an IV bag from the magic briefcase.
Magic briefcase. I feel like it's laced with tune.
It's either tune shit or bag of holding shit.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's probably got old carpet bag energy. Those things are A, huge, and B, voluminous.
Yeah.
And they, like, hang the IV bag and kind of set it up a little.
Mm-hmm.
And they start eyeballing Kankal's forearms.
I can help you put it in.
Do you have a preference of side?
Any side.
Well, I can't double dose you with both, buddy.
The right arm is fine.
Okie dokie. And, Bon gets out the rest of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of eyeballs Kankal. And they go, so, do you want to do it?
Sure. He just does the like hand it over.
Bon passes him the stuff.
Kankal like checks themselves over and kind of like figuring out like where the vein is and everything, like doing like all the stuff for it. And then like does the gimme hands of like the
tourniquet. No.
Yeah, I don't know what tourniquet is.
The tourniquet's the thing they wrap around your arm.
Yes.
Yeah. Bon hands that over and goes,
Mm-hmm.
You need a hand on that one?
Probably. Just defeated.
Takes it back. And, like, slings it around Kankal's arm without touching him. And, like, ties it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, holds it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, is this too tight?
A little bit more.
More?
Tighter.
Okay. And they tighten it.
Mm-hmm. Should be good. And, like, figured it out and, like, grabs...
Yeah.
the
Does
fucking...
the thing.
That's the thing.
Does the thing.
That's the thing. A little bit of, like, wincing at it, but...
And Bon just clacks their beak. Like...
Ta-da.
Yippee. Bon just watches the, like, IV bag start to, like, drip. So. Do you know if all your veins are in the same place?
By what do you mean by that?
I mean... Bon clacks their beak again. Clearly whatever you did to yourself affected you internally as well. So I was wondering the degree of change.
All the main veins should be in the same location.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm. What do you think I did to myself?
Bon picks up the clipboard and kind of taps the pen on the side of it and then scribbles something down.
Mm-hmm.
And they and does a little circle around the room, and their like wings rustle a little, and it's a very controlled movement. Very aware of how like limited the space is in comparison to their wings. And their talons tap on the floor a little, because the flooring I feel like is wood.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that sound that like dog nails make whenever they're long. And they tap the pen on the side of the clipboard a few more times as they wheel back around to look at Kankal. And they kind of give him a considering look. Well, that is a very deep question, isn't it?
If that's what you think.
Well, I mean, it certainly isn't not complex.
Sure.
I suppose it depends on the level you're talking on. Because the simple answer, I think, would be is you changed something about yourself. Potentially on a fundamental level. If you want to get more complex, though, that's where the interesting bits, I suppose, really begin. Right?
Yeah.
So, was this a pre-existing condition?
Which one?
The one that led you to your health declining so terribly.
Yeah. It's not something I did to myself.
I don't doubt it, considering Bon writes a few more things on the clipboard. So, I think the real rub of the stitch emanation is you don't exactly want to talk about this. And so, I can't exactly force you.
You can ask specific questions and I'll give you those specific answers.
Mm-hmm.
Up to however much I want to say.
And I can ask whatever I want.
That's how this works.
What?
Asking me questions.
Sure, we'll go with that. Bon just kind of like leans back on their back talon. It's plural. And tilts their head in that way that owls do, where it's almost like it would be resting on their shoulder kind of look. And they do it to the other side, like looking Kankal over. So, where did you come from then?
Obviously not from here.
Obviously.
Somewhere we can no longer go to. Literally.
Ah, but is it a plane, a dimension, a planet?
Planet.
Planet. Like the moon?
Further than that.
I mean, obviously.
But yes, it was a moon.
I'm guessing it wasn't by choice, considering. You didn't exactly seem delighted to be here.
It would... I crash landed here. Part of the facility that we were on was part of the ship I was in.
Fascinating. Bon walks over. I feel like there's a little desk. It's like more of an old-timey desk of like the roller tops.
Okay, yeah.
And they pull what is probably a too small chair for either of them out from this desk, because roller tops can get pretty small. They can get pretty big, but they can get pretty small. I feel like this is on the smaller side. They pull out the too small desk chair and they turn it around and they sit. Probably uncomfortably looking, but you know, Bon is nothing if not the king of perching. And they scribble on the clipboard. And kind of look at Kankal and motion like a go on.
What else do you want to know?
What wouldn't I want to know, really? Buddy, friend, pal, acquaintance, unfortunate house guest. You are telling me you are an alien from another planet who crash landed. And that's not even touching all of the everything else going on with you.
I figured that wouldn't be as much a surprise considering the studio you work at.
Listen, penguins from the moon is old news to me. I'm a bird, an Arakakra from the airplane. Birds are everywhere, baby. We're right up there with crabs.
That gets a little bit of a laugh. Like, internal, like, trying to not to laugh.
There's like a little crack in the mask. Birds. Excellent at being places we should and should not be. Just like crabs. So, penguins from the moon. Sure. Weird bird spirits. Owls. Owls being a common thing. That's just bird things. You're telling me this two-legged somebody is from another planet. And you just so happen to look like one of the rinky-dink races of people out here running around on this planet.
Well, I did do some editing.
Fascinating. And Bon scribbles on the clipboard. So, are we talking purple or can't see through lead? I don't know. What's the hip alien things kids do nowadays?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. So what's the hip alien things you did or do nowadays?
Well, you already seen that.
Weird underground facilities?
Sure.
Unethical science?
Sure. I feel like that seems to be a fun topic.
Honestly, I'm a little disappointed.
Thanks.
Alien abductions. Alien abductions.
I didn't think about it like that.
You take them back to your spaceship and you perform unethical experiments on them.
You see Kankal just like hand and face. Like the hair covering their face is like the shoulders shaking a little bit.
You know, I think I was around whenever there was that whole alien abduction phase craze in movies. Even the Penguins got in on it. You know that? But you were running around abducting people and bringing them back to your spaceship to perform experiments.
Kankal is just like trying not to laugh. Just
I feel so relieved and so underwhelmed now with this context.
this is what tunes are like. And just tropes fitting into each other.
It depends. It's always fun playing with them and the tropes and seeing how things can twist and turn, or hindsight slapping you in the face with alien abductions. I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed that.
I wouldn't have either.
Bond flips around the clipboard and there's some notes, but also in like a blank corner, there is like a scribble of Kankal piloting one of the classic alien spaceships. And it's got like a tractor beam. And it's got like a cow being sucked up. And they like tap on it with their pen and they're like, this is you.
At least it's not public humiliation. I can live with this.
So, on being an alien thing, I'm fascinated, really. No one ever asks me half the time what it was like living in the airplane. So I'm a little bit curious, you see. Are they all tall string beans like you?
No, there is a variety of shapes and sizes. You can see, like, just the Kankal's, like, from going to laughing, like...
Sobering.
Like, completely sobering more.
Did they all have an obsession with monochromatic color tones like you?
No, actually, here's a fun little trick. And you see Kankal just disappear. Like, turn invincible, basically.
Fucking chameleon aliens, I see.
And Kankal comes right on back on.
Is this pigmentation? Or is it light refraction?
Light refraction. I have made some of the clothes I wear cooperate with it.
Fascinating. Bon.
Technically, I can change any color I want. And, like, he, like, goes through, like, different patterns.
Oh, I see. So you could be any other color, but you've chosen the bright yellow. Personal preference, bad luck, the sun.
Personal preference.
Personal preference.
You have to actually focus in order to change it into patterns and colors that you're not naturally having.
And that's why you bleach your hair. Because it's easier?
Yes.
What? Just because a bird can come in different colors doesn't mean I don't think it's a pain in the ass trying to molt in a new shade. We love being lazy. That's why we make all sorts of inventions and such. Why do things the hard way when you can just chemically induce it? Bond shuffles in the chair and it like creaks a little ominously. And the rest of your pigmentation? Did you edit that? Were you purple before? Green, maybe? Yellow?
No, I was born old. A little bit darker than I am right now.
Is the lack of pigmentation because you shut yourself up underground instead of getting sun?
Probably.
That and your declining health.
Kankal just kind of like shrugs.
Yeah. Get the alien a tanning bed. Bon, like, says as they, like, pointedly scribble it down. So, how old were you?
What do you mean?
When you came here? Einquell.
Age is... My age does not reflect according to how things work here.
Developmentally, then.
An adult.
Good job, vague man.
They'll eventually... late 20s, 30s, I think, is how it would have been.
Young and spry and full of hope for life. Spite for life.
Sure. See Kankal kind of like fidgeting again with the necklace.
Bon makes a bird noise in like the back of their throat. And Kankal can probably tell Bon is drawing something instead of writing this time as they go on the clipboard.
Can I see Kankal like trying to like
I feel like Bon's got it like propped against the back of the chair, so it's like there's no way Kankal's seeing around the big bountiful bird chest.
Kankal's gonna do the thing.
Uh-huh.
And that is literally like from above Bon, it comes into a manifestation of like a yellow outline eye to look down at the clipboard.
Oh my god. Bon is scribbling their take on what they could only assume Kankal looked like when they were younger. Hair is much shorter, kind of like... It kind of looks like a big, floofy halo around Kankal's head. And it's, like, darker. Because Bon's, like, shaded it a little. It's not terrible. Like, there's definitely a few artistic liberties. There's, like, a tiny note of one eye, two eye. And Bon like pauses at the mouth and just draws like a not quite happy smile, but like a humored lilt to the mouth. And if they notice the magic eyeball, they don't say anything. And they just kind of make a low, trilly rumble in their chest, and they go, well, you would probably be placed older than me when you got here, so I suppose you've got that going.
How old were you?
Bon clacks their beak a few times, and Kankal watches them slowly drag their right foot across the floor and leaves tiny scratches on an otherwise pristine floor. And they go, I think I was a journeyman, I think would be the appropriate term. No longer an apprentice, but traveling the battlefields in order to gain experience and help out
What battlefields?
Oh, the airplane is, a tumultuous place. The Arakakra there find themselves constantly battling other creatures who make their home there, or even just the elements to survive. There's not a lot of land there, so it becomes prime territory for skirmishes. Gargoyles have always been a particularly nasty problem, simply due to their durability and the fact that they're stone, you know. Even if you get one out of the air, should it land, it could crush an injured bird to death just by its sheer weight alone.
Bird with one stone.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
About
The airplane. I never been, personally. There's a lot of interesting literature of it.
couldn't tell ya. I don't really spend a lot of time reading about others' interpretations of the place.
Well, unfortunately, Primordial is not one of the languages I have fully came to understand just yet, so I can't really get more of first-hand experiences with the sister languages that Primordials. Well,
Skip Primordial. It sucks. Just learn Iran.
I'll take that into consideration.
Bon gives a little like sniff.
Mm-hmm.
A little of like they have opinions. They're like, yeah, if you want to read anything on the airplane, just fucking skip Primordial. Go for Iran. Go right for the birds. The birds know what's up. But yeah. So, depending on what kind of position you held, you would have most certainly been my senior.
Probably.
But yeah, and this is where I ended up. Shitty house.
You're not happy with it. I heard it was an interesting experience in the newspaper.
I don't really hate the house. I suppose it's the ghosts that linger inside.
Funny. Cleric. Not liking the ghosts.
As a grave cleric, I don't really get along with ghosts in the first place. After all, my teachings abhor the desecration of the line between life and death. But there are always ways to push. After all, my domain is primarily with what happens in that transitional phase. Ghosts are one thing. Memories are another. But because the old boss is gone, I get to do whatever the hell I want to this place, including scratch up these fucking floors. And Bon pointedly leans onto their left side and drags, leaving tiny scratches on the floorboard deeper than before.
Oh, that's a nice privilege to have now.
I mean, if you want me to knock out a few walls to make this shit closet bigger.
That would be good for you, wouldn't it?
I meant more for you, but...
I'm used to confined spaces by now.
Ugh. So, how does an alien take to the Einquellian atmosphere?
Not great at first. I acclimated. Or I suppose it'll be more of a case of I forcefully make myself acclimate. And Kankal just kind of looks down at his hands and is like, I was not originally half Toon.
Obviously.
It seemed fading and easy enough to accomplish. And apparently Toons are hellaciously resistant.
They do like to bounce when you drop them.
They do.
So, part of your acclimation was becoming part Toon?
Yes.
That incompatible, huh?
In a way. Everything here is just different.
Well, you're screeching to the choir. You may as well lay out your list of complaints here. I'll be sure to file them up top.
Well, the sun was not this bright where I'm from. And the day and night cycle are far too short. The stars are all in the wrong placement, but...
That's a given.
The air feels too thick at times.
Atmosphere, let me tell you. It's fucking heavy here.
How is the airplane's atmosphere, actually?
Well, it's full of fucking air. So many things there fly. So I suppose you could say it's thinner.
Do you miss it?
No. Where I come from. More specifically, where I was raised, where I was taught, is where I will eventually be interred. There is no point in missing it, because at some point, I will return home. And there, my body will be embalmed or preserved or stripped, whatever I wish. My spirit return to it, and I will continue teaching the future generations just as those who came before me. Showing the fledglings that death and life are uniquely intertwined. And we pick clean the bones of the dead to make room for the living and continue the cycle.
What a fucking privilege. There is like anger laced in this. Bitterness.
Bon shrugs and leans back. I suppose it is a privilege. But at this point, I'm just counting the years, months, days.
And you're planning on leaving everyone here behind?
I'm making preparations. I've been making preparations for about as long as they've known me. It's not like this was news to me.
How old are you?
What was it you said earlier? Time. It's different.
Physically.
Old. If I had hair like you, it would be gray all through. My face would be lined with wrinkles. If I was unlucky, my hands would shake, and my bones would be weak. I'm very lucky. Because if I still lived in the airplane, I would be long dead.
Domestication does tend to double a bird's life expectancy depending on the bird. Specifically owls. I believe owls out of the wild tend to last at pure maximum 20 years. The oldest recorded one being 28, but on domestic places where they're kept and properly taken care of, they go for 40.
Give or take. By that account, I'm already reaching the end of the expiration date. 40 or so.
40 or so. Our crocodiles, of course, last 40 or so, naturally.
And I'm guessing fancy smancy aliens last much longer than a measly 40 years.
see Kankal like contemplating that for a moment. In my case, we last however long we are useful for. Even if our bodies deteriorate, we are giving replacements of organs or anything of the other. Surgeries are a common ground where I'm from. We don't grow up. We stay the same. I suppose the term would be we're two babies. Is that a common term?
Maybe in a mad scientist's lab.
Ah.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly say that's a common term.
We come out already as adults, young adults, and often to doing whatever task we are supposed to be doing. Children are not a thing for me.
Fascinating. And Bon in the back of their brain is thinking, like bugs. They're just, in the back of their brain, they're just picturing like a little larval
My God.
Kankal in like a little tube.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually pause to start scribbling this down. Just like, how many legs should they give Kankal? They're thinking. Bug. Kankal is bugs. Bugs.
God.
And they draw kind of like absent-mindedly.
Mm-hmm.
And the doodling is quickly taking up a lot of the page. That seems really boring, no offense.
A lot of others thought so too. My task was archives. I was made specifically to hold any and all information.
Explains why you're such a big fucking nerd.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And so, because you haven't had organ swapsies, is part of why have been deteriorating.
Slower pace now, with the modifications. Tunes are durable.
So, did your modifications come homegrown, or were you running around knocking tunes out and performing meatball surgery? They fucking shrug?
They fucking shrug.
What an ass.
Kind of like grinning at that.
Bon, like, visibly rolls their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They start scribbling, like, a Kankal with, like, a bag full of organs, like, dripping. So do you need, like, new meat organs, partially grown from you bits organs.
At this point, I think anything can work. Well, not everything. I'm not really sure what can make any of them compatible, so sometimes it's a bit of a trial and error.
Fascinating.
Makes waking up with blood in your mouth be fun every night.
What kinds of toon bits have you tried then? All of them?
Oh, yeah, fair amount. Almost all of them. I don't think I've gotten the Hausen?
Hausen.
I haven't tried out Hausen. There's quite a diversity. There's a lot of Fracanalia there that I've tried, most due to the fact of where I was located.
Ink infusions?
Yes. My blood is black now.
And it wasn't before?
No.
And it was yellow?
Not everything is yellow.
You're not exactly offering up the information. I can't help but
Green.
guess. Green. Fascinating. Green. Was anything else of you green?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would, actually.
I'm not telling.
Damn.
Besides, it was a long time ago. It doesn't really matter at this point.
I don't know. It seems pretty important to me.
Why?
Curiosity. Fascination. Reciprocation. An investment. I don't know.
I suppose my insides were more green tinted than the usual pink.
Ugh.
You wanted to know.
And they're black now?
I think with the tune, it's kind of filled in with some of the colorization of pink. But yes, it is mostly like Kankal like opens mouth and like
Bon leans forward in the chair, and like you see them kind of like cock their head to get like a better angle.
I'm kind of like leaning away with Bon leaning in. It's just like a mistake. Yeah, it is like much more like darker tinted.
Yeah.
Of course, if you look at me from far enough, I do look like a toon and seem to have the colorization that usual toons that Frank and Allie specifically toons tend to have.
No visual distortion.
Yes. If I am far away enough from you, I just look like a normal toon.
Do you know why?
I'm guessing it might have to do with the perception of self. Given how tunes tend to be a lot more metaphorical essence bring to life.
Loosey-goosey, yes.
Loosey-goosey. Sure. Also, I've found that there's a lot of symbolism in a lot of the designs of the Toonkind around.
Yes.
So I'm sure there's something to be written about there.
Do you perceive yourself?
I try not to.
Any particular reason?
I don't think this is a therapy session.
Ah, but you did say I could ask.
Yes, I did.
And therein lies your fatal mistake. I am especially nosy.
More nosy than a lot of others I've met.
It's the beak.
Kankal actually takes a moment of think about that. It's like, sure.
Bon looks amused.
Good. I haven't really gone around and paraded that I'm an alien or any of my tragic backstory out to anyone. So.
Well, you wouldn't have a lot of trouble fitting in.
Woohoo.
Yippee! Bon starts doodling a Kankal in a party hat.
I think Kankal snorts at that. Even Vaughn sees that Kankal is not even looking at it, but
So, at what point did we go from sad little alien refugee to mad scientist? Disgruntled scientist.
who is to say I wasn't already?
How did we go from disgruntled alien refugee to annoyed and potentially needing organ donors, mad scientist?
Well, obviously I crash landed here. So that's the first step on that. I wouldn't. What did I be? Actually, let me look up what the definition of refugee is, because Kankal would know. I don't know the specific definition of refugee. Yeah, okay. I was just like, what's the technical term?
Yeah.
Would Kankal nitpick at that?
Yeah.
Plain and simple, I needed to survive.
Was there anyone with you in the crash?
No.
So no bodies for organ harvesting, unfortunately.
No.
Did you vaporize them? Oh, after you organ snatched them?
Who?
I don't know. Whoever you haplessly came across in your quest to find a way to survive.
Well, as unsanitary as it was, I did start with dead bodies.
Hmm.
And then eventually to those who were close to death. And we'll just expand it from there.
Was it hard?
Obviously.
Which part?
Surviving. I didn't really care much for those I snatched up, as you put it. I didn't know them. What else is there to know?
Fascinating. Did you keep any records?
For the first few years, not really.
How unarchivist of you.
I was dying. And I still am, so.
Dying's the easy part. It's living that's harder.
Besides, my archivist work is not necessarily strictly on pen and paper.
Can I extrapolate on that or leave that one hanging?
Think of me as my homeworld's living library.
Bon makes well, you could guess a thinking face.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, how do you fill out an application for a library card?
Well, here, technically, I am an individual.
Yes.
There, I am the library, so I don't really need to fill out a library card.
No. I meant for me.
Usually how it works is that I suppose you could say I was in a gilded cage. So we need specific passes in order to ask me any questions. But since I am under house arrest, I suppose you have a free application.
Bon. There's a few emotions there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few emotions. Bon's also a bird.
Can I roll insight?
You can roll insight.
You can roll.
You can have Kankal try and decipher this bird.
Sure. I love deciphering the bird.
Bird deciphering.
Well, I'll just roll it. Yeah.
You gotta get the numbers, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a nat 1. I know you have got a +9 modifier, but that is a natural 1.
Mm-hmm.
So Kankal sees that the bird probably has emotions
Mm-hmm.
and thoughts about this.
Mm-hmm.
Free application.
Mm-hmm.
But Bon is a bird.
Mm-hmm.
And Kankal is not high enough friendship level
Yeah.
to decipher the intricacies
Mm-hmm. Tell me later.
of the Bon body language. And so those emotions pass over their face and they go, well, I might have to, I suppose, work on that application at some point.
Sure.
Exciting times for the alien scientist. A cultural exchange, if you will.
I suppose.
So, do you want to live?
I don't think I have much choice.
No, you have a choice. If you want to die, I'll kill you right here.
I think Kanko's gonna roll insight on that. Actually. My
It's
God!
another nat
My God!
Kankal cannot tell.
Kanko cannot tell.
I can go get an extra pillow. I don't know. You can pick. Smothering tends to be relatively simple. We could just start putting stuff in the IV bag. Or, I don't know, you seemed pretty keen on blowing up.
It just happens.
Blowing up?
You just blow up. And there's not much after.
I mean, that's if you die from the initial explosion.
I was hoping I was gonna die in the initial explosion with how I set everything up.
Well, are you a qualified engineer for blowing things up?
I haven't tried blowing things up, but I would technically be classified of having engineering experience. Plus, I do know, again, living library. It was easy to get a doctorate here.
I feel like this is pretty questionable experience in this work field. I honestly feel like I would be more qualified in blowing things up.
You.
Me.
Oh, right. The studio.
And hobbies.
Hobbies. What have you blown up before? I'm actually now curious.
Birds gotta have hobbies.
Like to further elaborate?
You know, materials you can purchase in order to make paint and similar medicines, and it's all chemicals.
It is all chemicals. It's not hard to make substances that are explosive.
That, and I'm friends with a few people who enjoy blowing things up.
Good.
Acquaintances, really. Acquaintances.
I would have figured the guild treble, but if you say there's more than just that, no.
Well, he pulls them out of his pocket like they're candy. He doesn't really count.
Don't old tunes do that?
Depends on the tune.
Suppose you're right.
After all, if Sandy made a habit of pulling dynamite out of her pockets, we'd be having a very different conversation.
You see, like, the grimace immediately at the mention of Sandy. Just immediately.
Bon enjoys that little pressure point. Just a little bit inside themselves. I do wonder how we went from attempting to survive and figure out toon ailments and toon studies to turning little girls into toons. I suppose it isn't too far of a cognitive leap, but did you just snatch her up off the street, or was this planned?
Kind of like just stays quiet for a bit. I was desperate and trying to figure out various things.
Various things. Did you figure it out?
No. Funny enough, I seem to have a knack and keep figuring out ways to make sure others stay alive. Not really for myself. No, there are plenty of failures, so.
Have you tried cloning? We're going full mad scientist here. I kind of figured cloning at some point would have been a go-to.
The resources on that is extremely far too much.
What a boring but completely sensible answer. Yet somehow keeping over 100 people in your basement is less resource extensive. Although at that point, I suppose once you start digging a hole,
You get more resources like that.
I was thinking more, you get further from the top. So, do you want to die? Or do you want to live?
See, like, Kankal, like, clench on the blanket a little, and just, like, not looking at Bon at all.
Because honestly, you don't have to stay alive. You could have stopped surviving at any point. You could have learned what made it nice and painless, and made all your problems go away. But you have been surviving. Certainly not thriving, but I mean, after all, you're still here, aren't you?
Kankal doesn't say anything to that. Sneaky suspicions of you hitting some points.
Sneaking suspicions.
Sneaking suspicions.
Bon kind of hums to themselves, and they get up and they check the IV bag, and they kind of putter around a little, leaving like the clipboard and the pen sitting in their chair. They actually go over to the window. I feel like there's a small window, and they like start fighting with it a little. I feel like it hasn't been opened in a long time, and so it's like the latch is like stuck, and they like beat on it with like their fist and like lever it open, and it like makes some very protesting noises.
Yeah.
And they like start shoving open the window to let in some air. It smells like rain.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Dying or living?
Rain.
Rain. A lovely luxury. Water just falling from the sky. Clean.
I'll stay however long you need me to be useful for.
I don't really need you to be useful at all, really.
Fortunately, I'm a creature of habit.
Yep.
I was built to be useful.
Yep.
And since you have me trapped here, not much else I can do.
Recover, maybe? Survive to thrive?
Why, just keep repeating this cycle.
You could actually find a cure. Or find a way to untune yourself.
The tune of my unto is not really part of the crux of everything. If anything, it's been a bit of a plus. It's handy having somewhere to put things that seems like an infinite pocket.
It's not, actually. There's, dimensions somewhere that they've done all sorts of fun little tests to try and figure out. Although, if you ask me, I think it's different for everyone and how much they actually care. 10 minutes of breathable air. If it's one person and they are panicking.
Wonder who found out that first.
One of life's great mysteries, I suppose.
Things they write stories about, I'm sure.
And what if you don't get better?
I don't think I will.
Then what will you do?
Die at some point.
Ah, but will it be up to you?
I was trying to make it be up to me.
A coward's way out.
That's what I am.
Were you tired of living with the pain? Or were you tired of something else?
Really turning this into some fun little therapy thing, huh?
I'm just asking the questions. You're the one choosing to answer.
Unfortunately for me, it's a bit automatic. If I can't lie my way out of something,
What's the point in lying?
what's the point in lying?
Was it lonely?
Very much so. Painful, even, you could say. And even if I fixed the spaceship, I wouldn't have a home to go back to.
Oh?
It's gone.
Gone?
Gone.
And what happened to it?
Well, I suppose it will start with a war. Civil war. As you said, it sounded very boring. And there was plenty of fighting. Eventually, one of the teams decided to use something to poison the whole planet in the hopes of that will get them to win, since we were all in low reserves and low spirits. It was a dumb choice by one desperate individual. And it killed everyone. And since we had quite a few nuclear facilities that are unattended and in dire need of attendance, the planet is uninhabitable. And at this point, it is a dead moon planet, whatever.
You'd be surprised. Death and life are uniquely intertwined. What kills one thing allows another to flourish.
Everyone is gone. There were no plants, there was no life to be seen.
So, was it you who poisoned it? Or someone else?
Yes. I'm pretty sure, technically, everything will be filed under I did it.
Exciting.
Such lovely topics we're discussing here. Really brightens up the room.
Eh. All things need to be talked about. Besides, who else have you talked to about this? At least I'm an impartial party.
You're a party that has me trapped in here.
Do you want to leave?
Would I even be allowed to?
Door's right there. Can you make it?
No.
So, get better. Walk out the damn door yourself. Until then, it's free rent, free food, free whatever the hell is in this place. Whatever the hell I can get my hands on that you ask for. Within reason.
What? No more fun experiments to conduct in here?
I've got paintbrushes. I'm not exactly someone who enjoys hauling dead bodies. It's too much work. I don't kidnap people. So...
Maybe you should try it.
Kidnapping people? I've
Yeah.
tried it.
You have.
Yeah. Kidnapped you, didn't I? Or is this just a reverse alien abduction? What would that be? Just abduction of the alien?
I suppose.
There you go. Besides, if you just walk up to someone and say, "You are being kidnapped," and start shoving them in the direction you want them to go, they're usually too confused to fight back for at least 3 seconds.
Oh, that's such simple maneuvers. Funny, though.
Life's only as hard as you make it.
What are you planning to do with Yuvia?
I'm not planning on doing anything to Yuvia.
So she's not under house arrest.
I think she's on the mainland, honestly. Maybe at a mall, or whatever it is young adults do with their free time. Coffee. She likes coffee. She might be getting a coffee right now. I gave her the day off.
She might as well needs it.
Yeah, hanging around old people ages the youth. Why do you ask?
suppose she's one of the few people I would care to know that would be safe.
I see. So the relationship was reciprocated.
What do you mean by that?
She was concerned about your health, your well-being. I was wondering, perhaps, if you were wondering about her well-being.
The only thing I really care about is her being alive.
A nice, reasonably low bar. We love it. Leaping and bounding over such a bar. But that is all we ask for.
So, I suppose with this, it's more of, if anything happens to me, and you're still up and kicking, and she needs any kind of help.
She's got Sandy.
What's that brat gonna do? Knock over walls? Set things on fire?
Well, she's more emotionally intelligent than you would think.
Sure.
How funny it is. The alien, lifetimes old, has a beef with a 10-year-old. Very funny.
Technically, physically, she is, what, 26, 7 now?
What is time? And the measurement of age. You are a funny bird.
I'm not a bird. But I would say the same to you.
Isn't it better to be a bird than anything else?
I think you might be biased.
Better to call yourself a bird than a boy or a girl or a beast or a man. Besides, you look like a sad little cockatiel.
Cocktail.
Cockatiel. Your big frill of yellow feathers, all limpant and sad. You've lost the sheen. Can't even groom yourself. Who will preen your feathers?
At this point, I'm guessing you're gonna be helping with that.
I could get the hose. I feel like I can trust you to not drown yourself in the tub. What a boring way to go.
What way would you want to go?
Me? Well, blowing up's already been taken, apparently. Bon actually pauses and thinks. They make a noise in their chest, low and sonorous, deep. And they look back at Kankal, and there's a bit of a mischievous twinkle in their eye. And they say, I'd like to go in my sleep. Preferably.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Well, I say that sounds boring.
Very boring.
And yet that's how you want to go.
And yet,
Why?
it's a privilege to die in your sleep.
I can arrange that for you.
I'm not being smothered. I'll take you with me.
Something, there's a song about that.
Well, I don't think telling anyone that we have created a suicide pact is exactly the way to end this conversation on a light-hearted note. But you can sure fucking try.
You'll never know what hit you, considering you're asleep.
You'll have to get out that fucking door first. Let alone the ferry. Could you imagine? Your weak and decrepit self would just tumble off the side at the first wave. No revenge able to be had. So, maybe if you start giving me specifications for what you need to get better, I can see what I can do. How's that?
Fine.
Fine?
Fine.
Fine.
We'll see how long this lasts.
We'll see. Oh no. You might actually enjoy living.
I stopped enjoying living for quite a few years now.
Well, let's see if I can't change your mind. After all, I'm full of surprises.
Are you?
Oh, yes.
How many have you pulled off then?
What?
Surprises.
More than plenty, I'd like to think. But I guess if you're so curious, you'll have to stick around to find out. Pull those answers from me. Maybe ask a few questions of your own.
Haven't I already been doing that?
But what do you know about me?
Not enough.
There you go. Don't worry. I'll get you some finger paints.
Why are you so insistent with the painting?
Bon pats the bed next to Kankal. I think you just need something to do. Another hobby. I'll find you ones to fill your specific niches, but they say picking up a new skill is good for the mind.
I've already tried painting before, but it's been quite a bit.
There you go. Unless you're scared.
Next time, bring me something to fix. I can do that.
Okay. And Bon goes into the bag, pulls out a new IV bag, and switches it over. And they leave the chair in the middle of the room with the clipboard and pen on it. And they hustle and bustle around. And they make to leave. Just casual as they came.
Can I spy on you?
You spy on me?
Can I spy on you?
Why would you want to spy on me?
Well, it's not like I can get any more fun sights from in here.
If you know where to look, maybe. But sure.
Give me a feather.
How forward. Goodness.
Isn't that forward? Even if it's just a loose feather.
You know nothing of birds like me.
Obviously not.
Bon, somewhat dramatically. Brings one of their wings around. And they start sifting through their feathers. And they pick a really nice one. And they hum and haw over it and look it over. And then they make a face as they pinch it and they pluck it.
You didn't have to get... I feel like throughout this time there has been the eye circling around, looking at what Bon has been doing, you know?
Yeah. And Bon wipes the bit of blood off on their shirt and heals the spot. Until there's a little bit of a new feather growing in already. And they give it a last once over, looking at it very intently. And then they walk back over to the bed and pause and then offer it to Kankal.
You seem a bit far too willing.
Well, what are you gonna do? Watch me take a bath?
I'll try not to catch you like that. Besides, you can resist it if you want. If anything, I'll probably come in knocking first.
Well, there you go. Besides, it's all feathers.
A relatively nice one.
I'll just let you think that.
Kankal hesitantly takes the feather.
It's a feather.
It's a feather.
It's probably one of Bon's flight feathers.
Oh, shit.
So it's long.
I'll make sure nothing happens to it.
Good luck. Is that all?
Bring me something I can tinker with, and I can give you something in return.
Okay. By the way, your left side is probably your better side. Later, hater. And Bon walks out of the room.
Kankal is just left in there and just kind of like snorts a bit and just kind of like twirling the feather around in their fingers. Funny. Let's see how long this lasts. And I feel like that's a good place to end it.
Yep. I feel like it's a really good place to end it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening for this, 2-hour-long FPS.
No, don't look at the time. Don't look at the time, baby.
We were having fun.
We were having so much fun.
So much fun.
I hope you had fun. But yeah.
Get yourself a sippy and a snack. Hydrate before you dihydrate.
And get the heck out.
Thanks for listening.